Pancho Villa crossed the border in the year of '16. The people of Columbus still hear him riding through their dreams. He killed 17 civilians, you could hear the women scream. Blackjack Persian on a dancing horse was waiting in the wings. Tonight we ride, tonight we ride. We'll skin old Pancho Villa, make shafts out of his hide, shoot his horse, Siete Leguas, and his 27 brides. Tonight we ride, tonight we ride. We rode for 3 long years till Blackjack Pershing called it quits. When Jackie wasn't looking, I stole his fine spade bit. It was tied upon his stallion, so I rode away on it to the wild Chihuahuan desert, so dry you couldn't spit. Tonight we ride, you bastards dare. We'll kill the wild Apache for the bounty on his hair. Then we'll ride into Durango, climb up the whorehouse stairs. Tonight we ride, tonight we ride. I'm too damn old to sit a horse, I'll steal the warden's car, break my ass out of this prison, leave my teeth there in a jar. You don't need no teeth for kissing gals or smoking cheap cigars. I sleep with one eye open, neath God's celestial stars. Tonight we rock, tonight we roll. We'll rob the Juarez liquor store for the Reposada gold. And if we drink ourselves to death, ain't that the cowboy way to go? Tonight we ride, tonight we ride. Tonight we fly, we're heading west toward the mountains and the ocean where the eagle makes his nest. If our bones bleach on the desert, we'll consider we are blessed. Tonight we ride, tonight we ride. Guitar. Tonight we ride, tonight we ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please head this way? We're about to start. Thank you.
Excuse me.
This is definitely SRO, as they say, standing room only. We're gathered here tonight, and I think nobody will argue that this is quite the special occasion for many reasons. All of them are James Munro Leaf. And I would like to publicly thank, first, Liz and Gil for bringing us all together. I'd like to publicly thank people from the Players Club, particularly Jennifer Yadolf, Bob Gregory, who arranged to bring all of us together for this particularly wonderful occasion. Somebody once said to me, "Oh, you're going to memorialize Mr. James Leaf." I said, "Nothing of the kind. This is to celebrate one of the great human beings, I think, that I've ever known and that many of us have ever known, whether they're family, friends, or even people who may never have known him." As we gather here tonight, all of us, I think it's fair to say that there are 3 very special souls that are among us, other than those in this room. And I feel that, I quite honestly feel they're very related. And that there are many similarities between these special souls. The first soul is a man by the name of Edwin Booth. And Mr. Booth, his room is directly above us. He was obviously the greatest actor of his time, and some of us in the room may not know this, but this particular building was established by Mr. Booth. This was his home. He established it in the late 19th century to bring people together as a community. Those people that he brought together, as we're doing tonight, happened to be American actors. But he did something very special. He didn't bring just the actors together for this club. He wanted the actors to be part of a bigger community. So he invited business people, military people, politicians, even the President of the United States, Grover Cleveland, was invited to inaugurate this club in the late 1800s. That was his spirit. He's the first soul that I'm talking to you about that relates to why we're here tonight. The second soul who's with us tonight is Mr. William Shakespeare. This place is full of Shakespeare. I'll test you at the end of the evening if anybody hasn't read all these books. But this was for Mr. Booth, his haven for Shakespeare. He was the greatest Shakespearean actor of his time. And at that time, in the 19th century, late 19th century, being a great Shakespeare actor was like being Mick Jagger, quite honestly. And Shakespeare was like one of the big hits of the Rolling Stones. Thousands of people. So that is the second of our souls, Mr. Shakespeare. And he also, Mr. Shakespeare, was also interested in community and bringing characters together, audiences of all class together. The third soul, who is very much among us, is James Munro Leaf. And yes, I put them all together because they were all actors. They were all men of letters. It's very apropos that we have this event in this particular building, because between 2014 and 2017, in that period, I believe, James Munro Leaf was among us as an actor downstairs at this institution, doing the works of William Shakespeare with us. And a burning actor he was. But it's also apropos that this particular event, which commemorates a revolution of one, which is his writing, is being presented in the library. Because this library is about books, about men of letters, about women of letters, about great literature. So tonight, we are going to be commemorating, not memorializing, the work of James Leaf as a writer. And I have to confess, as his teacher, I was aware he wrote, but not aware of how much he wrote. And over such a long period of time. And Liz and Gil and so many others helped to put all of this together. So we're celebrating this tonight by dipping our toe only into what would take all night and maybe into breakfast to really do the whole book. We're going to do for you about 35 minutes. We have an all-star cast. An all-star cast. And the reason they're all-stars is they all have a connection to Jamie, which makes them great actors. In spirit, if nothing else. And spirit counts. All three of those souls that I mentioned are tied together, aside from acting and writing, by a love of community. And the one thing to me that came through when I read this was how Jamie seemed to learn as time went on the value, in the end, of bringing people together rather than just writing for yourself. The value of caring for each other. In the end, I felt that's the thing that you're going to hear the most coming through. Our all-star cast includes, save your applause to the end, please. This is a cast of thousands. Mr. Jonathan Ross, Miss Louisa Muir, Miss Jennifer Yadoff, I'll have them all come up later, Miss Bryna Kearney, Mr. Jonathan Ross, Mr. Jeremy Funk, Miss Courtney Torres, and yours truly. I'm Roger Hendricks Simon. Thank you. I've played smaller crowds than this. I appreciate it very much. And we begin.
November 2016. Strange Defeat. Composed the morning after Donald Trump's election to the presidency. A quote from Victor Hugo. Sometimes a people regain its taste for garbage. The Brooklyn girls look sad today. Bewildered, betrayed, and confused. I am not making this up. It is a marked difference when I walk into the coffee shop. Someone told me that in 1830 there were more coffee shops in Paris than there are now in that city. I don't know if that's true or not. But the Brooklyn girls look wary. They don't know how this happened. We live in Brooklyn. In early November, they wear their loose monochromatic stocking caps in a jaunty style similar, I imagine, to that of the Paris workmen who tore up the streets, tore out flesh, and doomed republics from the marrow of those streets, hoarding powder, shot, and ball. A pike will do when all else fails you. And the people won't come out to play. The Brooklyn girls don't whisper sedition to each other. And maybe that is right. And maybe that is wrong. They sit with their screens and eat hibiscus-flavored donuts and drink dirty lattes with an extra shot of espresso. I am not rebuking the Brooklyn girls. I don't know who I'm rebuking. My sisters are sad. My mothers are sad. My grandmothers, even. It's worse from the grandmothers. The ones who had a crazy burning in their eyes, who, in my incorrect histrionic imagination, made light and tender love to the first suffragette at the dawning, unwinding those cumbersome fashions, who, at the beginning, tossed back some strands of hair, and sat, oomph, at the table in a heap of drear momentum, and spoke with that burning. Deal me in. I can play fair. I know the rules, and I can win. And all of us, with our cigars and stupid hats, and tired jokes and middling whiskey, we looked at them and knew they could win. They could win. They would win. And if they won, we'd have to have more conversations, and we would have less slaves, and so we screamed at them in narrow streets at night to frighten them at midnight as they made their way home alone after that third shift, or raped their daughters when they tried to learn the alphabet, or made their bodies a receptacle for hurt, our hurt and wounded pride, or simply paid them less for doing more. For No matter how weak we are, we knew our arms were strong, that the most puny among us could fume and strike fast and be a living terror at his own hearth side. And all of this continued, but through all the bloodied noses, they haven't left the table yet. And I don't think they will. This last debacle, enter the Troll King stage right, to offer consolation is obscene. Paris, in 1830, maybe people spoke to one another at the coffee shop. At the bar, we talk and bear all the slobbery of our souls. We summit wet epiphanies and laugh, and sometimes break off and end up in each other's beds. But hopped up on caffeine in the afternoon, well, that might be something else. The left. What is that? Is this a new time for the left? I make this suggestion. The left will be reborn in my country when a person can walk into a coffee shop and begin an abstract debate joined by 7 strangers swiftly. This is a modest, clunky, and an earnest poem.
June 7th, 2014. My grandfather sits. In the photograph, my grandfather sits on a soapbox, smiling and smoking, a lucky strike. He crossed the Rhine with Patton. In the end, it was stress, a carnivorous diet, and tobacco, I think, that took him.
August 21st, 2014. I had a friend. I had a friend who could buy pills on the street at the drop of a hat. And he was shrewd in ways that only the ambitious, fallen, once well-heeled are shrewd. I'm certain he had killed. And it chilled me when he confessed this to my breast in a haze of whiskey, because I told him I would carry it for him. What does that mean? Can God see that? Can his mark of Cain be transferred voluntarily?
Notre Dame, August 15th, 2005. Discovered scribbled on the Notre Dame handbook. Genius of liberty. I paced the Seine in the shadows of downtown. Street peddlers with dangling Eiffel Tower. 6 equals 2 euro. And I wonder, did the thunderous voice of the revolution pace these stones, full of wine, steeping heavily on the conception bed of the infant republic? In the morning, I am a monarchist. I stand in awe of church and throng, belittled by Charlemagne's terrific bulk and the stone kings of France. I go to Mass at Notre Dame and take communion, letting a robed priest lay the wafer on my tongue, a mushy transfiguration. The bread becomes flesh. The sign of the cross, the way I'm not Catholic. I walk outside, placing a coin into a beggar woman's palm instead of the collection box. Stained teeth need polishing more than a stained glass does. And I like to think the Prince of Peace cared more of her crumbling bones than ancient stone. In the morning, I am a monarchist. But in the noontide sun, the revolution seduces me, and I become a fiery-eyed son of the Republic. Paris is a harlot, not a nun, and her gay streets are made for freedom and red bonnets. Terror looms. Now is the time for dancing and red wine, take it while you can, which stains the streets far sweeter than the devil's vintage, served up for free on the steps of the guillotine. Blood is no stranger to these streets, and I wonder what these statues have seen. Their unblinking bronze eyes. Glorious rising of the barricades. Pikes and torn up cobblestones, beggars and lounging students who like to talk Rousseau, going tete-a-tete with the National Guard. Too soon they learned red banners were no substitute. Far too little gunpowder. That Rousseau would not save them from imperial artillery and the inevitable firing squad. In my mind, they float serenely up and down the Seine, like the pharaohs of Egypt did the Nile. I hear the battle yell of Hugo's ghost. How can I not? The ferry boats bear the names. Enroyas and Gavroche. No lie. Paris has seen it all. Titans and cowards, kings and gallows, Robespierre and Murat, the guillotine and the German panzers. But she has lived and still gives life. And today, in the gardens that once belonged to kings, Italians break bread with Americans. Frenchmen pass tobacco to Africans. A man in black plays a Spanish guitar next to a smiling surrealist. And in the grass, a little girl holds high a piece of bread. Her fluttering sparrows away nibble from her hands.
March 26, 2016. Faust sketch. Hi, I'm Faust. In German, that means fist. I know a lot of things like that. I have a PhD and a master's. 2 masters, okay? Fine, I have 3 masters. I am a master doctor. I'm going to kill myself tonight. Really, I'm not joking. I'm broke, in debt, I'm rich in knowledge, but the sort of knowledge that makes women walk away from you at parties. My students think I'm wonderful. My students are idiots.
March 31st, 2014. Samurai Soul for B. Benjamin. My heart was broken when I sat with you on the steps of the belly of the great library. You nursed me with truth, simplicity, the kindness of the burnt. That something must be worth. Thank you is not enough. Rather, I wish to turn your love into a faint ditty of defiance against the wreckage of these streets, filled with dope. Dopes, released addicts, who I hand the green contents of my wallet to unthinkingly, praying somebody I remembered decked in scarlet, drinking red, will laugh when she wakes up each day, will never need to court her sleep, will wake with gods on her left shoulder and emptiness on her right. Kalinikta. Bonne nuit.
2007. Clara.
No.
3 a.m., old friend. And you are breathing your last. Your hairy ribs push up and down, encasing a liver that's rotted. What final dreams attend you on this, your last night on Earth? Visions of squirrels bounding up trees in April? Full tilt attacks on dogs more than twice your size? The sound of barking opponents beckoning to the beyond? Or do you sense with that strange canine clairvoyance your appointment with the needle? The dawn, quiet death? No more to trot through sunlit groves in autumn or lumber through the snow with icy nose. You waited for me, old companion. Like the hound of gaunt Ulysses landing home, scarred by monsters, Olympian tempests, known only by his dog. You remembered my scent, dear guardian. You raised your old head. You nuzzled my hand. Though beautiful and unlikely, I pray that we will meet again, where no one is ever fixed, and all the squirrels are slow.
To Clara!
July 11th, 2017. The bush. Hauling ass now across 87th. Matt takes up the rear, slinging a big bag of cold Diet Cokes that nobody will drink that night. They've set an evening session for me. The soldier and the gentle friends will be there. From that lot, my beautiful and earnest physician hopes she'll have some allies. The bush does not burn long. And when it does, it is a solitary thing. The doorman is courteous, betrays only a slight awareness that things might go askew tonight. On her wall, she has a painting of a figure in a Russian winter, moving out of town into the blue, into the cold, into the lonely. It hits me as it hasn't. And now even I come to doubt the words pouring from my mouth, sex and battle and hellfire rides for the Grail. My help will be professional. Why can't I let them take me in? Why do I make them take me down? Garbling and confident but terrified, I know what's going on through the wires. My psychosis has become less and less amusing. Romantic or groundbreaking. I tried reasoning with the police and told them I was a lieutenant undercover. Looking back, I suppose, it's not surprising that they didn't buy that line. I remember in that waiting room, tasteful and serene, how a knee held my head to the floor. And I watched my friends helpless and concerned as I tried to grapple my way out of the arms of help. Louisa was beautiful and agitated and undone. And Matt crossed his arms like a soldier, admiring the temporary strength granted by florid mania, screaming slurs and lies and anything. Am I a junkie for this last stand fix? What glory is there in this flailing defeat? I said for years that this wasn't a disease, that it was some form of ontological descent. How is that needed? Can't two girlfriends walk up the street with cones of ice cream and pass $1 to the beggar? And can't the man drive fast and blast his music on the swerve? Can't George sell incense? Can't Katie sing? Can't the demonstrations and the counter demonstrations go on without my insight? Who am I to think I must disabuse others of a lie in a system so vast and oiled and serene beyond the occasional shards of subjective violence? What is the mystery that I discovered? For there was some curtain, some veil that I pulled back, and I want the others to feel it on their necks. But this is a condition that you can't share with your friends in the way that you would like. Does God send signs and wonders and a blasting ecstasy that makes a young man shout Hosanna, and do the wonders merely rattle? The signs careen inside his brain? And when he tries to show to Pharaoh and the mob the truth, why does it all come out like the snorts of a beast? Euphoric charges down and up the island, 1,000,000 songs, quicker than lightning with genius unchecked. I don't want this curse anymore. At 18, I was arrogant. I wanted contention, a dram of powder. Now I just want new music. The Olympians can only be laughing at me. A swaggering Cassandra unpacking an oral history of Western carnage, and old Paris learned from a book. The can't go, shan't go, will go, you go on. Already.
October 11th, 2014. Go all the way. Go all the way. And it means this. She's broken your heart. Keep loving her. He hates you and is scared of you. Don't hate him. Throw it out in front of you. Your vulnerability, your softness. And do not let those who want to pour acid in your wound get the satisfaction of watching your face turn red. They degrade themselves. You keep faith with the good, with God, with Logos, with the way. No one can take it from you. Be alone. Don't knuckle under and see the world through a simple lens. Through fear of the sins you've committed, the madness that might return. Go on to the end.
January 11th, 2015. Go ask yourself today. Go ask yourself today that all the books are leveled how well you danced the first time they dragged you before Bedlam. The engine dies, the red car's door pops open. The 4 Centurion fetch a bright, chrome, blue leather wheelchair and escort me to the gates. 3 steps outside, I halt and stare at a small gray stone statue of St. Francis feeding birds. He doles out seed, his homely monastic haircut, crowning a bowed neck and a soft smile. Frostbitten flowers pulse about his feet. The easy or the hard way? Asks the oldest of the orderlies with an untrimmed white mustache. I take the hard way, kick and pain. The arms fly forward. In my right hand is gripped an old copy of Glamour magazine they let me take for the ride. I swat the youngest, quickest soldier with the filth. He knocks it from me, and in a flurry, my ass finds its way into the deep blue leather. Heave-ho, they strap me down, and off we go to the races. They slide the throne straight through the white lobby into the inner issue of the Terror. White mustache hits the button and awkwardly awaits the elevator. My voice goes off.
November 1st, 2015. Blasphemy in the tonic water. I want to get naked for all the street musicians and write my poems in blood on the walls of granite banks. I want to eat mussels soaked in white wine on Saturday afternoon with Allen Ginsberg, stroke his beard, and laugh uncontrollably. I want to French kiss Mephistopheles, apologize for my piety, and take a bath with her while Virgil lovingly shampoos her hair. I want to lie on a beach in Spain with Jesus Christ and talk about eternity and death and redemption and the various sins of Lewis Carroll. I want to throw rocks at geese, found a new nation of nut-gathering tribesmen, and never worry about growing old alone. I want to go all the way for my buddy Antonin Artaud and be his right hand man in Tibet, doggedly hunting down members of the monk masturbation conspiracy. I want to eat pigeons with Hemingway in Paris, defy swallows, and smoke long clay pipes under the western stars while Woody Guthrie and Annie DeFranco make love in the tent next door. I'm longing to wash the feet of Joan of Arc and to lie for a year in the arms of God. And for my dog to like me. I want to charge into hell with 600 romantic poets at my back. And for Lord Tennyson to be the only one who gets shot. I want to ride back, pelting archangels with liberated manuscripts, which drove their authors to suicide after being deemed unpublishable. And then I want to buy everyone drinks at Carnival in Rome. I want to lie in bed for days with a melancholically beautiful woman who I've never met and listen to the endless torrents of rain outside. I want her to wear a garland of orange flowers when Emma Goldman marries us on a chilly day in late November under a willow tree. And the stipulation that we can both sleep around, though neither of us would want to. I want the government to collapse at the very moment that we kiss. I want the new world to be filled with passion unending. I want God to be forgiving and kind. And if he isn't, I want my lesbian daughter to kill him.
Splendid for Amanda. The people are splendid. Michael Collins said that not long before they shot him. He killed many people, possessed a great desire for peace, and at the end, found a willingness to compromise. That sentence of his is in my head all day. A man can choose to look upon the people with a sense of many things, a sense of learned content. And they may be ignorant and vile, crude and mean, or like a lofty anarchist, a man. A man can say that they are sheep, bah, sheep, like that. But go back now with me to the bruised Irish assassin. Endeavor to see the streets of your city the way that he saw Dublin at the close of the Great War. See the boys, eager and competitive, 1 foot in the candy shop, 1 foot reaching for the first pint. See the old woman, as he saw them, more wise than superstitious, a rosary laid down to teach you courage as old as the strange and baffling goddesses of local hills. And see the men in their work caps at 40, caught between the dream of being heroes and the dread of misspent lives. The words of the priest that will not signify over the coffin, and see their wives at 40, burnt out, praying for the better deal of the cards, a better throw of the hand, fingers wrinkled by washing at 5 p.m. But eyes so bright they could drive us all to shame. Gray and blue and brown. I don't know Michael Collins, but at the end of a life of struggle, blood and hard questions, he said the thing that won't be shaken from my head. And in Brooklyn, New York, almost a clean century later, I will go with him. On the subway, the woman besides me is approaching 80. But she folds the newspaper with the steady focus of a broad. Still in the game. Now, and forever, I am through. So through with my intelligent disdain. I love people because I am people. Chalked through and through with the sordid little sins, I smile at our progress, knowing at the last that we are splendid. We are a we, and we are. Splendid. Thus ends a taste of a revolution of one. Before I introduce again the cast, you didn't think you'd get through this without a commercial, did you? I mean, we have these books, and we're proud to have these books, and they just happen to be in the room, and I'm sure if you do get up and would like one, we'd be happy to oblige at the table. Louisa, would you give the details again
Yeah.
so that we can ask our friend?
So there's also for, should we run out of books and you really want one, or you want additional books, there are barcodes, the QR codes on the side, the really big, I printed them really big. They're on each side of the room, and you will get right to the link and you can order directly from there. You can order even your digital copy as well, like a Kindle version, is that true? Yes. And hardcover and soft cover. Right now, we're selling just the soft covers on the table.
And
feel free.
as of yesterday, audiobook as well.
And as of yesterday, audiobook as well. The audio actor is the how do we say audiobook
Narrator.
actor, right? Narrator. Yeah, yes. Is
Whatever,
right.
it all
He's ready. And so yeah, please. Today we also, it's only $10 for the physical copies. Online they're $15, I think. Anybody who made it out here, we want you to have one. So please, yeah, enjoy. Thank you.
We encourage and want you all to hang and remember Jamie and share things together. Many of our readers, including myself, wanted to, of course, say things about him. But I think Jamie would be the first one to say, good writers speak with their words better than anything you can say. So I hope that all of us got, and I think we did, get a taste of this human being, James Munro Leaf. If he has a legacy, and I think he does, it won't be starting tonight, and it certainly won't end tonight. I think best to say that it will continue. And with that, I thank you all for your being here with us and being part of this family. Thank you all. Here's your all-star cast. I'm going to ask them to stand so you know who they are. Mr. Jonathan Ross. Miss Louisa Munro. Miss Jennifer Yadoff. Miss Bryna Kearney. Mr. Jeremy Funk. Miss Courtney Torres. And I'm Roger Hendricks Simon, and thank you so much.
Can I just say one quick thing?
Yes.
I knew him fairly well, having known his mother and everything. And the thing that astounded me about him was he knew all of Shakespeare. Honestly, he knew it all.
He did. He knew.
I know.
Yes, it was a bit intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
But he got up and spotted it by memory.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Shakespeare in
To
very
learn.
complex, so I was so honored by that.
Yeah, he did. He did indeed.
Yeah, good evening to everyone, and thank you so much for the blessing and honor of being here to James's family. And I mean, this is my first time meeting many people in this room, so I'm just want to say the greatest honor to be here amongst that James's spirit has brought us all together and to share these words. You know, Dr. Liz Goodenough and her husband were kind enough to inform me about this event. I'm from Nigeria originally, and I met James in university. We both lived in the same dorm, and you know, it was just really a mesmerizing and fantastic experience for me to know him, because, you know, truthfully, we didn't stay fully in touch after we left the university, but I never forgot him because of the works that he gave me and the knowledge that we used to share and exchange on things like poetry, literature, history, you know, and I would be speaking about things from a revolutionary perspective with the aesthetics that inform my life, and he would be speaking from the perspective that informed his life, and we found a deep, deep way to connect. So, you know, I just want to add my voice to the beautiful voices that shared and read from the poems, because I had the honor of sending a poem that he wrote and gave to me in 2007 to, you know, his wonderful mother. And I feel it's only right that I read the poem and then share something in the spirit of why he wrote it. So at that time in 2007, I was reading a lot of Paulo Coelho, and I used to really talk about Warrior of the Light a lot. So at that time, James and I both used to commiserate about the oppressive and claustrophobic atmosphere of Harvard University at times. So one of the things that brought us a lot of joy, though, was talking about how we could use our own energies to bring that positivity out to the world. And I told our friend Mike that's here that, man, it was just a blessing like otherworldly when I learned, you know, 2 years back of everything that James did before he left, you know what I'm saying? And he's still here with us speaking through this right now. So in the spirit of that and the Warrior of the Light poem that he wrote for me, you know, and all of us activating our Warriors of the Light, let me read it. It's on page 18. In these days of our darkness, monastic rooms, rushed meals, neon nightmares, I hear a voice resounding, cross concrete and the void. A single light, a single fire, a beacon in the tower, burning steady against the envelopment of Mother Night. A steady pulse still beating, cascading, spilling over and up and out, that makes Gomorrah tremble. A thumos that shakes nations, living in a warlike form beneath. The gangster of the epigram, the Copernicus of the Sahara, the polymath of Linnaean, the Imhotep with lightning heart, thrust by circumstances into Rome. In these days of our darkness, may the voice continue strong. May the breath be sure and steady. May the life be long. May the sun shine once again. May the winter feel his edge. May his ends be marked in glory. God, may his fire spread. I just want to share some words from my brother Hugo that was a great friend to myself, who I actually had known for my whole life, basically. And I know he was a great friend and great brother to James, and he sends his greetings to everyone here. You know, this poem always stays with me because I write a lot of rhymes and poems in the night. And James was watching my room with a light in the middle of the nighttime. This is in 2007. So why this poem touches me is it just makes me think, like, anytime you still feeling down, just remember you are that warrior of the light, even if it's sluggish, even if it's not connecting, and you still got that power. That's what James reminded me when he gave me this poem, and I feel he asked me to remind everybody here. So thank you guys so much, man. I know I don't know everybody here, but I have some familiar faces, and it's a blessing. I actually have to start running to run back to Washington, D.C. I'm so sorry.
Beautiful.
Yo, you go, man. So this is our great brother Hugo, and you just greeting everybody. Hugo, man, thank you, man.
All right.
I just want to say something really short. I didn't have much time spent with James at all, really just 4 hours at his dinner, but it felt very close, and we shared a lot of things. And I thought, well, maybe we're so close because we lived another life together at some point. And so I said to him, kind of just simply, do you believe in reincarnation? And he dove at me and said, I believe in all of it. And I laughed. He was 29 at the time. And it was a joyful moment that he was 29 years old, so passionate about believing in all of it. And we wrote and so forth after that, sort of loved each other through the mail. That was it, but I'll never forget. I believe in all of it. You know what I mean?
As they say in Ireland, the bar is still open.
I enjoyed your reading and your emceeing. My name is Mike. I'm a friend of